Now, March is coming in like a frozen lion. How much longer these cold temperatures will be sticking around? And the cold and snow are causing dangerous conditions. How local charities are making sure the homeless stay safe during yet another cold snap. Plus, rescue missions are underway in Alabama, where deadly tornadoes ripped through that area.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for watching News 3 Now at 10. I'm Amanda Quintana. Unseasonably cold weather is moving into the area tonight and could mean record-breaking low temperatures tomorrow morning. Let's turn it over to Dave Caulfield, who is in the Weather Center tonight. Dave?
Yeah, Amanda, temperatures are already tumbling below zero across much of southern Wisconsin, with wind chills in the -15 to -20 range. And that's right now. We still have about 10 degrees left to fall in our temperature and wind chill department before we reach our minimums tomorrow morning. So bitterly cold start to the work week, that is for sure. Let's take a look outside in Madison on the WISC-TV Skycam. Mostly clear to partly cloudy skies right now, already at -3 degrees, but with a west wind at 8 miles per hour, it feels like -18 across Mad City, and some other temperatures down to -5 in Platteville, -6 in Prairie du Chien, and in Viroqua we're at -9 with wind speeds out of the north and west at about 8 to 15 miles per hour. That's making it feel like -18 in Madison, -19 in Janesville, -26 right now in Platteville. Wind chill advisory, something that we don't typically see in March across southern Wisconsin, in effect until 10 a.m. tomorrow. Your day planner, so temperatures will fall to near -10 as we start off Monday morning with wind chills of -20 to -30 possible. Highs will get into the single digits only, and it could feel like below zero all day for tomorrow. I'll let you know when there's some relief in sight in the temperature department in your News 3 Now First Alert forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Dave. It has been a long winter for all of us, but local shelters caring for those experiencing homelessness say they're having one of their most successful winters. Amy Reed joins us now to show us what they're doing right to keep people warm. Amy.
This winter has been especially dangerous. Just today, Milwaukee police found someone frozen in their car, but thankfully, because of partnerships between shelters here in Madison, they're finding ways to keep people experiencing homelessness safe. And given the bitter cold and snow we've seen and compared to years before, they know they're onto something.
You don't go into this field and not care.
It takes a lot of heart and a lot of passion to do the work Michael Moody does, especially for the time of year it gets most challenging.
It can feel helpless that you're not able to do more. So it's tough. I pay a lot of attention to the weather, and that can be rough to know that, I get to go home and they don't.
It's the reason he and his team at the Beacon have worked so hard to try and make things better. They've added resources and changed hours, but Moody said what's really made the difference was just a little cooperation and coordination by working with other shelters in town to make sure people experiencing homelessness were taken care of.
We feel here at Porchlight, and I'm sure the Beacon would also agree that it's about saving lives.
Preston Patterson at Porchlight is another one of the players on this team. He and Moody have coordinated hours to make sure their guests always have a shelter from the weather. So the only time outside is the trip from one to the other. And even then, there are shuttles.
The guests certainly appreciate it. They have certainly let us know that they are very appreciative of having a place to go during the cold weather, not having to be outside.
It sounds simple, but this new coordination is leading to a result they may not have expected for a winter like this. With near record low temperatures and record high numbers of guests, Patterson said he hasn't seen a single case of frostbite, and neither shelter has lost a guest to the cold. So even though this winter has felt brutal, these shelters have something to believe in, and maybe even something to celebrate.
We can't do it alone. We can't expect the government to do it. We have to all work together and solve it, because this is our community.
Both shelters pointed out they have some people to thank for what they've accomplished so far, and that's all of you. They said all the donations have allowed them to take care of the influx of people, and they're grateful and hopeful those will continue.
Thank you so much, Amy. As we go through another one of these polar blasts, make sure you've got the News 3 Now First Alert weather app. It provides the latest on weather and traffic. It's free to download in your app store. Search teams are in the south tonight looking for survivors after deadly tornadoes. Several tornadoes or suspected tornadoes hit Alabama and Georgia this afternoon, killing at least 22 people. That includes children. The storm leveled everything in its path, including the small town of Beauregard, which is devastated. With so many homes damaged, officials in Alabama expect the death toll to rise.
Talking several miles that it traveled on the ground. The damage is significant. I would put it into the category of catastrophic.
The tornado watch also covers a large area of South Carolina, including the cities of Charleston and Columbia. A large winter storm that started in California has now made its way to the northeast, some 2,500 miles by the time it reaches Maine. It's been tough getting around today in the middle of the country. By tomorrow morning, parts of the northeast will have up to a foot of snow, and behind this storm is a deep freeze. The National Weather Service has a winter weather warning in place from Maryland to New York, all the way up to Maine, and snow could accumulate up to 1.5 inches per hour. A UW-Milwaukee professor has been charged with sexual assault. Anthony Azenabor is a professor at the College of Health Sciences. He was charged with second-degree sexual assault, use of force, and fourth-degree sexual assault. According to court records, the incidents took place last spring. It's still unclear if his role as a professor had anything to do with the alleged incidents. He is no longer allowed on the UW-Milwaukee campus. Hundreds of people turned out to a fundraiser in Milwaukee yesterday benefiting local fallen officers. In the last 8 months, 3 officers were killed in the line of duty: Charles Irvine Jr., Michael Michalski, and Matthew Rittner. The fundraiser raised money for Officer Rittner's family and members of the Irvine and Michalski families to travel to Washington, D.C. and see their loved ones' names added to the National Law Enforcement Memorial Wall. The fundraiser included a silent auction with items donated from Wisconsin athletes. In Green Bay, a Roman Catholic diocese plans to remove the name of a former bishop from its cathedral. Bishop Aloysius Wysislo allegedly failed to adequately address claims of clergy abuse while he was bishop from 1968 to 83. The new bishop, David Ricken, says removing his name will help victims heal. The facility will change its name to the Cathedral Center. More local news now. Madison police are looking for the person who shot a 22-year-old man overnight and any other details in this case. Officers responded to the 1100 block of Mendota Street on the east side around 1 a.m., but they didn't find any shell casings there. They found the injured man at Meriter Hospital. He was still being treated there this morning. Anyone with information about the shooting should call Madison area Crime Stoppers. Researchers say less teen pregnancies is contributing to the lowest number of babies being born in the state in more than 40 years. Data from the State Department of Health Services shows there were less than 65,000 babies born in 2017. That's the lowest in the state since 1973. Teen births have dropped 60% over a decade. Some other concerning data: low birth weight in babies is increasing. A historic building on Madison's west side that sat empty for years is now open again as part of a new venture. You may remember this building on South Junction Road as the West Side Business Club. Before that, it was a school with a one-room schoolhouse originally built more than 100 years ago. The property is now open as a veterinary clinic, daycare, and boarding house combo. 2 Madison veterinarians have remodeled the space, hoping to fill what they say is a void in the pet care business.
It's really hard to find a clinic that has veterinary boarding and daycare, especially within the Madison area, just because of the zoning issues. We were really lucky to find this.
We feel like we've given it some loving care so that it can be with us for decades, maybe another 100 years to come. We would love that.
Passion for Pets Veterinary Clinic, boarding and daycare officially opened all operations in December. The cold this morning didn't stop people from bowling for a reason. The annual Bowlin' for Collins fundraiser took place this morning at several bowling alleys in the area, sponsored by the UW Carbone Cancer Center. The event raises money for colon cancer research. Experts say it's a disease that impacts many people in our community.
I think a lot of people here have a personal connection to this disease, unfortunately, and so these diseases have touched multiple households, so it's great to see people come here on this very cold Sunday morning, and it's great to see a community get together, raise money and awareness for this research and for these diseases.
This was the 18th year of this event. Monona Terrace was full of comic fandom today. Fans young and old attended the Madison Comic-Con to share their love of everything comics. The show featured vendors, artists, and creators, along with games, comics, and toys. Kids received free admission and a comic book at the door and could come in costume to participate in the masquerade parade, while older comic fans could reminisce about the comics of the past.
That first comic, that flipping that first page, and that kid or even someone who's never read comics in their life get that like spark. I can see that in people and they just go, wow, I need to come back to this.
The event was part of MightyCon, a group that organizes shows across the Midwest. Madison just celebrated its 25th anniversary with its sister city of Camagüey, Cuba, and a group of local professional musicians got to mark that milestone. Madison's sister city relationship with Camagüey includes humanitarian assistance like the Wisconsin Medical Project and also group cultural trips. This year, that relationship blossomed into a musical conversation.
When you show up in a place like Camagüey, which has a sense of its culture, an appreciation for music, an appreciation for jazz, for good music, and you show up with 10 American jazz musicians, something's going to happen.
Tomorrow on News 3 Now This Morning, photojournalist Melissa Bailey will share the highlights from the jazz performances that are helping bridge the gap between Madison and Cuba. Coming up, a bitterly cold start to the week. Those below zero wind chills are already here. Dave has your first alert forecast when we come back. Despite the cold and the snow this winter, people won't be able to get out and see a northern Wisconsin tradition this year. Park rangers at the Apostle Islands National Lakeshore say the ice at the famous ice caves is fractured and rough. That makes it unsafe for visitors. All of the snow northern Wisconsin has received is insulating the ice, making it too soft. The ice caves haven't been accessible to the public since 2015. More local news now. It's Sunday night, so let's take a look at the week ahead and just a few of the things that you can expect. Tuesday's a big day for Wisconsin nonprofits. It's the Big Share. The Big Share is an online giving day put on by the Community Shares of Wisconsin. Nearly 70 local nonprofits are featured in the event. Those organizations focus on everything from helping the environment to building equitable communities. You can participate in the Big Share on Tuesday over at thebigshare.org. Wednesday is the 4-year anniversary of the high-profile police shooting that sparked months of protests in the city of Madison. 19-year-old Tony Robinson was unarmed when he was fatally shot by a Madison police officer in 2015. The shooting was determined to be justified as self-defense by the Dane County DA. The Robinson family was eventually awarded $3.5 million in a civil lawsuit. There will be a vigil at the Social Justice Center Wednesday at 6 o'clock. And on Thursday, the Wisconsin Badgers men's team will play their final home game of the season at the Kohl Center. The 19th ranked team takes on the 22nd ranked Iowa Hawkeyes. At 6 o'clock, the team finishes the regular season away against Ohio State. Melissa Kim will have more coming up in sports. And Dave, what can we expect weather-wise this week? A lot of cold.
Yeah, a lot of cold, at least to start us off, Amanda. And we do have alert days in the forecast for tonight into early tomorrow morning and for the day on Monday and Tuesday for some bitterly cold temperatures and wind chills. Tomorrow morning, we could be feeling like minus 30 in some spots across southern Wisconsin. In Platteville on our Queen Bee Radio Skycam, looking at mostly clear skies, and these mostly clear skies allowing those temperatures to continue to tumble across southern Wisconsin. Similar story in Madison on the Edgewater Skycam. Today's high a little bit misleading because that happened pretty early on this morning of 17. That's still 20 degrees below normal, and going forward over the next few days, temperatures could be about 30 to 35 degrees below where we should be for this time of year. And temperatures have already dipped below zero tonight. This is a pretty rare sight across south central Wisconsin, at least a wind chill advisory for early March. That just doesn't happen every third month of the year, and that goes until 10 a.m. tomorrow. Wind chills about minus 20 to minus 30 possible with that advisory. Right now, temperatures, as I mentioned already, below zero, and they'll continue to fall overnight. Minus 3 is the thermometer reading in Madison, minus 5 in Platteville, minus 4 in Boscobel. You factor in a bit of a wind out of the west, and it's really not that strong of a breeze, folks, but when we get temperatures this chilly, it doesn't take much to get wind chills close to minus 18 in Madison, minus 24 in Lone Rock, minus 27 in Dubuque, Iowa, and across portions southeastern Minnesota, it already feels close to minus 35 outside. Overnight temperatures will dip close to minus 10, bitterly cold outside, and this could be possibly record-breaking. If we do hit minus 10, that would break the old record daily low of minus 9 in Madison, set back in 1884. As I mentioned, wind chills of minus 20 to minus 30, possible to likely as we start off tomorrow. So those temperatures continuing to fall overnight under mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. We'll end up near about minus 10 to start off Monday morning. Then temperatures should make it into the single digits under partly sunny skies, but wind chills won't make it above zero for quite some time. In fact, there are some indications that we have to wait until Wednesday for it to feel like it's above zero outside in Madison and across much of southern Wisconsin. A few flurries not out of the question as we head into tomorrow, but they shouldn't cause any issues. Some more issues possible because another cold start to the day on Tuesday is in store for all of us. Highs should make it back into the middle teens on Tuesday. And this is what it could feel like to start off Monday morning, minus 25 to minus 30. And as I mentioned, those wind chills at their best on Monday, folks, only feeling like minus 8 outside. And that is the kind of maximum that will feel like across the area on Monday. And then those wind chills back in the minus 10 to minus 20 range for Tuesday morning. So pretty bitterly and almost dangerously cold air in some spots. You can see that big mass of polar air over us on Monday. We get a little bit of relief. You see those colors changing in our favor by the time we get to the middle of this week. And then we are watching Saturday and Sunday for some possible rain and snow. So that system is definitely on our radar right now. Still a lot of uncertainty there. There is not a lot of uncertainty in the cold weather on the way. We're already experiencing it, and temperatures dipping close to record-breaking values as we head into early Monday morning. Another cold start today on Tuesday. Forward temperatures get a little bit closer to normal, closer to Wednesday and Thursday. So winter has 2 weeks left, and Mother Nature is sending us a harsh reminder of that reality.
With record-breaking and not the exciting kind.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you, Dave. It's going to be a big week for both Badgers hockey teams. We'll show you what's at stake coming up next in sports.
Well, what a way to finish the regular season. The Badgers men's hockey team swept Michigan over the weekend, both of those overtime wins. And Wisconsin had only won 2 of 8 overtime games coming into this series against the Wolverines. Sean Doogie was the hero in Friday night's game, and last night it was Linus Weissbach who lit the lamp in overtime. Now it's time for the postseason. Wisconsin entering the Big Ten tournament as the 5 seed. They'll face 4th-seeded Penn State for a best-of-3 game series that starts on Friday. Wisconsin is 2-1-1 against the Nittany Lions this season. season. The women's team taking care of St. Cloud State over the weekend in the first round of the WCHA playoffs. But now the Badgers will face the team that's been their Achilles heel this season. Ohio State and Wisconsin will face off in Minneapolis on Saturday. The Badgers are 1-1 and 2 against the Buckeyes this year. Well, 2 games left in the regular season for the Badgers men's basketball team, and if they want that double bye to start the Big Ten tournament, they have to win both of them. If they win one and lose one, things get a little complicated. Iowa will come to the Kohl Center on Thursday for senior night. The Hawkeyes will be without Fran McCaffrey. He's serving a 2-game suspension. And Wisconsin will finish up the regular season at Ohio State. That's 1 week from today. And there have been lots of close calls this season, but the team thinks things are clicking at the right time.
I think it's a testament to our experience from last year. You know, a lot of us are back. I mean, having Kobe and Meach back really makes a difference, you know, because we're not relying on guys to play as many minutes at one time. But I think it goes to our leadership. I mean, Ethan, Brad, Meach, they do a good job of just keeping us all composed throughout the game. And when you're composed, you don't start stressing, and it makes it a lot easier to compete and perform.
I just kind of stayed the course, to answer your question, and just believe that, you know, eventually it's going to come. You know, I believe in myself just like I believe in everyone else on the team, and I think we're good enough that if we play together long enough, that things will start clicking eventually.
Creighton visiting 10th-ranked Marquette at Five-Star Forum. We pick it up in the second half. Creighton up 1. Marcus Howard looking like James Harden with a step-back 3. Marquette takes the lead. Howard had 33 in the game. Under 30 to go. Sam Hauser, oh, that is no good. So Marquette losing back-to-back games for the first time this season. 64-57, the final. The Bucks making it official with 6-time All-Star Pau Gasol. The 38-year-old comes with a wealth of experience, currently in his 18th season in the NBA. He's also a 4-time All-NBA selection and 2-time NBA champion. He won both of those with the Lakers. He's played in 27 games this season, averaging 4.2 points, 4.7 rebounds. Just a quick note for the boys basketball sectional semis this week. Racine, Horlick, and Sun Prairie, that game has been moved to Fort Atkinson, and the Wanakee-La game that has been moved to Verona. Just some location changes there in Division 1. That's on Thursday at 7 o'clock. That's also when the girls' state tournament starts as well. So we have lots of basketball this week, Amanda. You can catch that all, of course, here this week on In Sports.
All right. Thank you so much, Melissa. We'll be right back.
Without
All right, so we're going back in time to those dangerously cold temperatures again.
Yes, and we're going to have to deal with that for the next couple of days, but it starts off tonight into tomorrow morning already at -3 in Madison, -6 in Prairie du Chien, and -9 closer to northeastern Iowa. But if you factor in a little bit of a wind, feels like -18, and that's currently in Madison, -25 in Viroqua, -27 in Platteville, and our wind chills will just keep tumbling from there into tomorrow morning. Could feel like -20 to -30 outside. We do have alert days for some bitterly cold temperatures and wind chills for Monday and Tuesday. Some slight moderation in temperatures for Wednesday and Thursday.
Winter is not over yet.
Not even close.
Not at all. All right, thanks for joining us. Have a great night.